Today, we're diving deep into the world of lash adhesives. Welcome to Lash Glues 101. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the glues. So the first thing that you have to know is that you have to match the glue speed with your skill level. So basically, you have to take in consideration what's your skill level, like how fast you can work, what's your client's needs, and what's your environment like. If your environment is very dry, your glue gets dry very slow. If your humidity is very high, they will dry faster. The hotter the temperature is, the thinner the glue viscosity becomes. One of the things that we have a lot of issues is with retention. And the reason why is because we can determine all the things that we don't have the knowledge to determine the right humidity, the right temperature that is in our room. But also when you attach an extension to the natural lash, you have to take in consideration that you have to apply the right amount of glue. A lot of people either apply too much or too little. Remember that it has to be in between those two. You have to see like a little dot in the extension before applying it to the natural lash. Also, the base of the natural lash with the extension has to be between 2 to 3 millimeters. So that will give you the strength to hold the lash for longer until the lash cycle of the natural lash has go through. I have seen a lot of you guys not doing the proper isolation. So remember that the best isolation is better retention for our natural lashes. If you don't have the right isolation, basically you're going to damage the natural lashes. And by damaging the natural lashes and not having the proper retention on the natural the extensions, you're going to lose a client. So that's what something that we don't want. We always want to keep our clients. Other thing that you have to take care and you have to think about is if your client has any kind of allergies. Remember that all the glues that are in the market, the main ingredient is the cyanoacrylate. All the glues that are in the market, the main ingredient is the cyanoacrylate. Basically, without the cyanoacrylate, we wouldn't be able to manufacture the glues. So if the client is allergic to cyanoacrylate, well, there's nothing you can do because even the clear glue is made with the cyanoacrylate. The only thing that you can play with is if the client has an allergic to the carbon black, that is on most of the black glues. Only the clear glue doesn't have that one, so that's why it's made. But also you have to think that this one is dry a little bit like slower. So if you're like a fast lash artist and the retention on the clear glue is also a little bit slower. So if you tell your client that they have an allergy reaction to the cyanoacrylate and you want to tell them that you can do it, but you're going to use another kind of glue, which is the clear glue that doesn't have the carbon black, you also have to tell them that the retention on the lash extensions is not the same as the regular glues. We have a myth, and some people still do the patch test on the skin, and this is actually something very wrong because the skin, like the glue shouldn't be touched by the skin. So when you apply this glue on the skin, it's actually bad for the client and for like it will actually give them like a reaction because the cyanoacrylate is very strong to be on the skin. So that's why we shouldn't never do a patch test on the skin, like behind the ear or on the elbow, nothing like that. The thing that you should do is if you want to know if the client has an allergy reaction, so what you do is like one eye you do it with the clear glue and another eye you do it with the regular glue. So you apply like 3 or 4 lashes in one eye and then 3 or 4 lashes in the other eye, and then you make a note of that and you know which eye was with the clear glue and which eye was with the regular glue, which is the black glue. When the client comes back after 24 hours, if they didn't have any reaction, that means that they're okay to any of the glues. Basically, they can use any glue. But if they have a reaction to the regular glue, which is the black glue, that means they have an allergic reaction to carbon black. So you want to avoid at all costs using any glue that contains carbon black, so you stick with the clear glue. Another important thing for like a better retention is checking your glues very well. So that's why at LBA we have this amazing shaker. Basically you use this for 45 up to 60 seconds. Choose the right base for the size of the glue, and then you put the glue on the shaker, and then you mix it for about 40 to 60 seconds. That what will do is that it will take all those ingredients that are inside the glue, and it will give you, believe me, the retention is a lot better when you check your glue very well. If you don't have one of those, you can do it with your hand, but you have to do it very strong and for like about a minute. It is very important also for you to remember that the glues have like a lifespan of only 3 months old. So if you buy your glue and you have it without use, you can keep them up to a year. But if you open this glue, once it is open, it only lasts you for 3 months. So what I recommend people is to like get it out of the box, and with a pen, you put a little tape or something with the date that you open this, and then in the other side, when is the date or the month or date that you have to throw this out. The reason why is because some lash artists, they're still new, so they don't do clients that often. So because they don't do clients that often, they don't use the glue before the 3 months. So if you're one of those lash artists that you're starting, that's okay, it's no problem. Just keep the glue very safe in a tight container like this, but remember that this only lasts you for 3 months. This little chart that I have here, you guys can also find it at the LBA website. If you guys go to the section of the glue, they will give you exactly this chart. So if you have any questions about like what is the right glue for the right temperature, for the right humidity, for the right speed or viscosity, you will find all of this information in this chart. For now, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna walk you through each of the glues so you guys can understand a little bit what each of the glues does and when it's better to use it. So we're gonna start with the clear glue. It's okay to be working in a temperature of 18 to up to 22 degrees. So the temperature range is very slow on this one. It's not as high as other glues. Like I told you guys before, working with the clear glue is a little bit tricky because it's one of the glues that dries very slow, and because of the viscosity and the temperature and the humidity that you will be working in, it's a little bit tricky to work with. But again, if you need to use it, you can use it. Okay? The viscosity on this one is thin, and the dry time is 2 to 3 seconds. So if you have like a client again, or you're doing like color lashes, this is like perfect glue to go, clear glue, and it can work in cold and hot humidity. Magnetic. Magnetic is one of our best sellers. The reason why is because it's perfect for those lash artists that are starting in the market, that they don't have the right speed, that they still like new with the speed and they're a little bit slower. The drying time on this one is 0.5 up to 1.5 seconds. So it's still you can still play with that dry time, depends on the temperature of your room and the humidity. This one works between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius. So it's also good and it's easier to work with, but the humidity on this one goes from between 40 and 60%. So the humidity is very wide and it's very easy. So remember that we can play with the humidity and the temperature in our rooms. So if it's too hot, you just put the AC a little bit colder and it don't lower the temperature. But if it's too humid, what you have to get like a dehumidifier. But if it's not humid, it's too dry, you have to get a humidifier. So we can always play with the temperatures and humidity. So this one is good. I will always recommend this one if you're like in a very hot place or a very cold place. It's perfect. Also if you're a new lash artist. Babylon. This one is one of the new babies to the family of the glues. This one is very, very good. The dry time of this one is between 1 to 2 seconds, and the temperature is a little bit wider than these ones. These ones go from 22 up to 27 degrees Celsius. So if you're in a very hot climate, that's why the design is so cute. It's kind of like paradise. If you're in a very hot climate and you have like a lot of humidity, go with this one because this one will dry very nice. It will hold very nice, and the humidity range is between 45 to 70%. So it's huge. It's like it's one of the biggest, like one of the best sellers also now too, because of we're like in summer. So this one is perfect for summer or for someone that lives in a very hot countries. Hookup. This one is one of my favorites with Speedy. That's why I left Speedy last. So hookup is very good. The temperature wide is between 18 to 22 degrees Celsius, which is good. It's like a normal temperature. And the humidity range is from 30 to 70%. So that's a lot of humidity that you can play with. It's also the dry time on this one is between 1 to 2 seconds. So if you're you're not super fast lash artist, but you're not a new lash artist, go with this one. This one is very good. It dries very nice. The viscosity is thin, so it's very easy to use. And the retention on this one is amazing. So if you're not a new but not old lash artist, you have experience but you still take a little bit of time, go with this one. It's very good and the retention is amazing. Speedy! Speedy is one of my favorite glues. The reason why is because it's the one that is dried the fastest. This one dry between 0.5 seconds to 1 second. So if you're like a lash artist, that you're very fast, that you already have the experience, go with the Speedy. Also, the temperature range is between 18 to 22, which is most of the glues are the same. And the humidity level is between 30 to 45. So this one is a little bit tricky because the humidity has to be on the lower side. This one, the hookup, the humidity was on the higher side. So if you have like a very humid place, this one won't work very good with you. So you have to have kind of like a dry place or like a room. Not like you have to live in a dry country or city or anything like that. But the room where you work when you're doing the application has to be a little bit dry. So to do that, you just have to make sure that if it's too humid, use the dehumidifier. If it's too dry, just put the humidifier, but in a slower setting. Another thing that you can do to have better retention, to have a fresh glue, and to always have a best preparation for them to store them, is to use a glue container, a tight container. The reason why is because the glues keep best on the dry, cold places. So this one, it will prevent the air from going into the glues. Remember that what cures the glue is the air. So the particles of the air that contains water, humidity, and heat, that's what cures the glue. And if you leave like a regular glue just sitting around like that, so you're gonna have the chances that the air is gonna go inside and it's gonna have less lifetime. So what you do, I have 3 glues here, and I'm gonna show you. So the container comes with 3 gaps, so you can store up to 3 glues with different sizes. So you just put them inside. Each glue comes with a silica pouch. So this silica gel pouch, you're gonna put it inside. It even has like a little dot inside to put it there. And then what you do is you just close the glue, and what the silica does is it will absorb any humidity that is stored in the glue container. So you just close it. You see this one doesn't open if I don't press the button. So it won't open, and then you just store it anywhere. That's so easy, right? That's it for today's videos. You can purchase all these products that we mentioned in the video on our website at ldaprofessional.com. Please like and share this video if you found it helpful. See you next time!